Earley of Social Enterprise Neo Ireland, Empowering Change. And it's from talking to you this morning, Eve, it's almost a theological thing you're at here. It goes deeper than a mere business plan or anything else. There is a fundamental change that you believe is possible in Irish society, and you're on a mission to try and facilitate that.
And it's culture change, it definitely is, but I believe at its core, it's in each and every one of us. And I think that were we to pay attention to our own mental health and well-being, each one of us would function as a member of the society, as a member of the community at large, would function so much better. And hence the community would function well. In the end, for me, I would have come from a family background that was chaotic at best. And but for the kindness of adults unrelated to me, I wouldn't be sitting here. Yeah. And I think that I always relate to situations and to people as my needy child. I remember crying myself to sleep at night going, where are the grown-ups?
Wow.
Where are the grown-ups? And I think the where are the grown-ups is what sets the stage for my work. Because in the social activism bit of it, that's me still shouting, where are the grown-ups? Yeah, yeah. Or start acting like grown-ups. But in the personal work that I do, the empowering change bit, it's getting people to see that their life could be different. It's getting up every morning and choosing life, choosing a life of your choosing, rather than a sentence.
Yeah. An awful lot of people would say that they don't have that option, but you can have that option in whatever measure you wish, and in whatever measure is possible for you.
Right.
I think.
So yesterday morning on Facebook, you said something, you commented on a post, and it was, I'm looking forward to seeing you, or something, you said something about my work. And you said that at a time in the morning when I was having a very difficult time choosing the more optimistic path. Wow. Because I wanted to be undone by just a difficult circumstance. Now that difficult circumstance is a difficult circumstance. I can let it destroy the day, or I could see your message and I could go, I got to get back to work. And it's not that I'm ignoring, believe me, the difficult circumstance, but I can't let it control how I'm going to be in the day.
I remember having a conversation once. I'm glad that worked, that helped, because the message in that is that the tiny things we may choose to do, if we do them with good heart and with positivity, they can be the ripple on the pond. Yeah. Can help people. Yeah. And we should all take that to heart and do something about it, you know. Yeah. But that is good, and we go forward looking at life in the most positive way possible. And you're down to an individual thing. If we can change the individual, we can change the family of society, we change society, and we can improve all the way.
The empowering change, the practice, really came out of the fact that, look, if I could take my circumstances, my history of depression, my history of whatever the personal and mental health issues were, and I could be living a very different life now, other people can do it. Yes. Now, one of the things that we don't do here is share our stories. You know, I hear about that touchy-feely American stuff. I hear about that Oprah stuff. But the reality is, when you take that openness of culture, which couldn't have existed here because of the Troubles, so please don't think that I'm judging. I'm just saying, this is what it was like here, and this is what it's like there. But because of that sharing, I know that if I was damaged, and this would be the Oprah story, if I was damaged by a history of abuse, I'm not the only one out there.
No.
And then I can do something about it. And then
Yeah.
more importantly, I can watch for the symptoms in children
Yes.
and say, I can't heal or change what was done
Yeah.
to me, but I can stay healed. I can heal
Yeah.
myself and stay healed by helping someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my observation about victimhood, and I don't take away from the severity of victimhood, but people almost kind of have a gentle repose in victimhood. They feel a warm satisfaction in remembering and worrying about it and complaining about it, instead of saying, I am going to move forward and beat this that happened to me 30, 40 years ago. And that doesn't happen, I can see it. No, it's not easy, but it's just not happening very often.
Well, and I think that we need to respect that the person can't necessarily move forward and beat it if they're in an environment where it's constantly being reinforced. And one of the things that we do when we, and this much culture change I know I can't affect, but we call it the troubles.
Yes.
Now, as I said to you, I knew nothing of it before I moved here, but I'd just like to say it was not the troubles. You had a war. You had everything that's associated with war.
Yeah.
And we are in post-conflict, and there's a lot of post-trauma.
I refuse to call it the troubles. And I'm still being euphemistic. I call it the terribleness, which comes a little bit close to it.
But it's if we look at the mental health literature on healing from trauma
Yeah.
and apply that to a social pattern,
Yeah.
to culture change, we'll be miles ahead of where we are. And one of the things I see as a future, you know, we've been talking about digital future and how we can train our children for jobs in the 21st century. I believe that our children and our professionals are well placed to be driving the post-conflict work that goes on worldwide. You know, we talked about missions to Africa, where we came from our hunger experience, passionate about feeding the poor there. We need to take that experience and come from our conflict experience and imagine what the Irish role is going to be in the Middle East, in Africa, in places of conflict now.
You and I have many more things to talk about. And that's how we'll draw this to an end this morning.
There you
and
go.
I'll be asking you after the program to have a look at your diary
There
and to
you
see
go.
when you can come back.
My pleasure.
Eve Earley, thank you very much indeed. We'll
You're
say
very
farewell
welcome.
to the people together. It's been lovely having you with us
Yes,
today.
well, thank you.
And keep positive.